Why don't we try to restart here?
Chairman, I move that we reinstate or restart the meeting. Excuse me, we're in recess. So.
Yeah, and I took it out of recess to start it, and it was hard to hear that.
Right.
So we're actually in the meeting. There was some misunderstanding as well as what the first vote was merely a vote to they complied with the plan and tried to distinguish between the rate impacts would be versus the fact that the company had under the law an entitlement to recover the costs through some means that is approved by the commission. So we've taken care of that particular vote. The next item that I had for us to consider on the decisions that we have to make really relate to the timing of the Attorney General's credit. And we're very, very fortunate to have this credit being applied because it provides some substantial mitigation of the, if you take it on a 6-month basis, what's happening for the rate increase that's occurring. I want to see if there was some discussion that we had a lot of discussion at the hearing about the timing, and I think we got to a point where at least some of the parties indicated that they preferred to have the credit come as early as possible. And when we had the discussion at the hearings with the parties, I was thinking that it was better to have the credit occur in January and February when the rate impacts might be the hardest and the highest because of the usage. But Council Jen Woodfoot, the Wiley Center, really had a different view. And I at that time when we were at the hearings, I said, look, I'm not an expert on this. I'm looking for views for the people that actually address these issues every day or often in their jobs and in the things that they do in their job. And I really respect what Council Wood had said, that no, we'd rather have it in November. In October, there was already a $43 million arrearage forgiveness that was taking place, and the company did not want to have both going on at the same time for programming purposes and the billing system. And so they basically said they couldn't do both at the same month. So the earliest possible spreading of the credit or the crediting of or applying of the application of the credit was November. And I'm fine with that. And I'm ready to approve having the credit be applied for the month of November. I don't know if you have a different view on this.
Before you make any votes, I just want to clarify for the open meeting agenda. Your first vote was in docket 4978.
And we're taking both dockets at the same time. That's how I want to do it.
I understand that. I just need you to be very clear that this next motion is in docket 2207GE, and then when you go back to last resort service, make it clear that you've moved back into the other docket, so that it's just clear for the record.
Yeah, so the record is on this one is the only one that relates to the other docket, and everything else that we do relates to the 4978. Any different opinion on that?
No, Chairman. I would just to be clear, the schedule as you've presented it is that the $43.5 million in arrearage forgivenesses secured by the Attorney General will be applied to customer bills in October, and you are suggesting that the approximately $62 credit also secured by the Attorney General would be applied to all customer bills that exist on November 1st of this year? Or to all customer accounts that exist on November 1st?
Identify the customers as of November 1st, and the credits would apply. And this would, by the way, we were talking about the electric rate. In this docket, to Council's point, there's a $50 million credit. 32.5 go to the electric, but there's also 17.5 going to the gas customers. So this particular motion would relate to both electric and gas and the distribution of the entire 50 million. And it would be based on the customer that's identified as of November 1st. If that makes sense.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I concur with that. I think it's important to get the credit to the customers as soon as possible. I think that was the intention of the Attorney General in the settlement. And I think the soonest we can do that is November, and I concur with that suggestion that you're making, Sophie. Thank you.
So when I have some votes that are prepared for this, and they're gonna sound convoluted, so I wanna explain why they sound convoluted. There was a tariff that was filed, and when we use the word tariff in our industry, we don't mean just a number. It's actually the terms and conditions on how the rates or the services work. And it was laid out the process for the distribution of this credit. And so what I'm doing is I'm amending that tariff document that was filed by changing the dates and the specificity that it had on how they determine when